A central question in sociology is what is it that binds a society of hundreds of millions of people, hundreds of millions of different social connections? What binds that society together as a nation? And the theory that I like the best comes from the political scientist Benedict Anderson. He defined nations as imagined communities. In other words, we imagine ourselves as part of the same collective in-group of people, regardless of how big that group is, and that becomes the truth. That becomes our understanding of who we are. So I can get in a plane in South Florida and I can fly 3,000 miles away to a place where I've never met anybody before, Washington State. And when I get off the plane, I still feel this sense of collective identity and this sense of familiarity with the people that I interact there. I see them as part of my larger in-group, that larger group of American citizens. It's entirely imaginary. It is an imagined community, and it's an amazing thing. We can see this in action, for instance, on 9/11. On 9/11, when New York City was attacked by terrorists, we saw that as a national emergency. We saw that as a national tragedy. I live 2,000 miles away from New York City, and yet I felt traumatized by this attack. It wasn't something that happened to those people in New York. It happened to me as a member of this imagined community. We see, on the positive end of the spectrum, we can see this in the Olympics when our athletes win the gold medal. We see that as personal victories because they are members of our imagined community. It's a really, really powerful idea. But you can kind of see how this idea of an imagined community could be kind of tenuous to maintain, right? What happens when other powerful groups start to tell stories that contradict this imaginary understanding of a collective community of American citizens? And this is what I am seeing happening with regard to the MAGA response to the fires in California and Los Angeles. That is not being presented by this particular American movement as an American tragedy. It is being presented as a blue state tragedy. It is something that is happening to those people, which is an out-group term. We are real Americans, and this is happening to those people, those blue state people who deserve what's happening to them more or less. And we see this not as an opportunity to come together as a community and provide collective comfort and collective resources to people who really, really need it in a desperate situation. No. We see this as an opportunity to score political points for our side. And we see this as an opportunity to extract political concessions from those people. And this is a dangerous thing to happen to the larger American project. If that sense of, that imaginary sense of what it means to be an American breaks down, then what's holding our nation together? I don't have an answer to that, right? Now, to be fair, there is one member of the conservative movement that I have seen who actually did reach out, and credit where it's due. My own governor, Ron DeSantis, did actually reach out to California to offer help and solace to fellow Americans in need. So it's not outside the bounds of what the MAGA movement represents to embrace this collective imagination of what it means to be an American. But it certainly seems to be an idea that is under attack.